My name is Clark Waterfall. I'm a co-founder and managing director of a firm that now I think is 26 years old called BSG. BSG used to, when it was originated, stand for Boston Search Group, and then you turn a quarter century old and you just shorten everything to three initials. The uh, the service offerings have grown over those 25 or 26 years. We originally started as a retained executive search firm. So that was focused on the board C and VP level for middle market private equity backed customers or clients, their senior leadership teams, and then the funds themselves. And then some point along the journey, we determined that there was another half or another symbiotic partner to retained executive search, which is all around talent acquisition. And we ended up initiating or building or starting a second LLC. It's called Talent Sequencing. And it's all around working with that same executive team, that same individual executive contributor, and helping to diagnose, assess, prescribe, whatever may help them continue to build, grow, optimize, and accelerate into their roles. So that's the business, which is now two businesses. And I guess regressing back to when we first had the opportunity to meet accountingdepartment.com, it actually was a particularly pivotal time. We didn't know it, but it was a particularly pivotal time. The what led us there was we're with a competitor to ADC, and we had been with them for probably 6, 7, 8 years. We had made the determination that outsourcing the finance function was really important. We're a small and medium business, and what we had experienced before when we had rolled our own or had it inside our organization was that it was really hard to train because neither I nor my co-founder had that background or functional experience, et cetera. And that there was quite a bit of turnover, just natural turnover, where, every 3 or 4 years, you'd identify someone, you'd groom and train them. They'd give you a year of really good value. And then for whatever reason, they'd find another opportunity, move on or move geographically or other. So we made the determination that it was probably the best decision to outsource this function, which is a wildly outsourceable function. And we'd outsourced it to a competitor of ADC and had sort of a better than insourcing experience, but not a, oh my God, I'm really glad we did this. And they're wildly accretive. And, we feel as if it was a terrific idea. We felt it was a lesser of two evils, but perhaps not as good as it could be. Well, if you think about June 2020, not very long thereafter, COVID hit. So we ended up having the opportunity to actually transfer our client relationship to ADC, had a terrific controller, and that may or may not be the appropriate term to use, and then a team that worked on our behalf. And we successfully transitioned it all over. And no sooner said than done then COVID hit. And COVID for any small or medium-sized business was terrifying. It was wildly uncertain financially because for most of business, at least in the United States, time just stopped. Revenue stopped. Everything stopped for at least 6 months, and it was incredibly quiet. And with quietness came this fear of sustainability. What I think ADC was amazingly good at was understanding our situation, being like us, a small, medium business, while they are larger. It's better than being with a huge partner that really treats you like a number. And I think they really listened to what we needed. And we ended up applying for PPP grant funding. We ended up, our controller ended up identifying another tool that allowed us to help cover costs. And she actually applied for it with all of our data and information and went back and did the over under numbers and did an amazingly heroic job in helping keep us afloat over those incredibly dark and uncertain times when, for a small, medium business, it could easily be lights out. So with that, out of the crucible of uncertainty and adversity comes usually really strong relationships, and that was absolutely the case with ADC and us. Once we'd been through that, we had the opportunity to then build and grow coming out of COVID, and now 5 years later, really find ADC as a terrific financial partner according to a couple of vectors. Number one, they are professional. So there isn't any, oh, we forgot, or oh, we missed that meeting, or oh, we had to take care of a personal issue and therefore we're just unavailable. They seem to always be available when we need them. They also, I think, understand the toolbox that's important for small and medium businesses. So professional staffing is critical, understanding of our business is critical. A toolbox that they bring to our business, and toolbox is not just technology, it's also process. But if in the people process technology framework, the people are professional. The process that they bring in terms of meetings and cadence, insight to the business, and recommended reporting structures that help me keep a finger on the pulse of where the business is, and how it's sitting vis-a-vis past quarters, past years, current month, and then future looking from a sort of through the windshield perspective. But also technology tools, which are really important. Again, in small, medium businesses, technology can often, it's not guaranteed, but it can often act as a surrogate staff augmentation function that makes it a little bit less expensive with a little bit richer input, feedback, output. And so the technology tools that we deployed in partnership with ADC have been really terrific. It might be worth noting that one of the value propositions in our outsourcing the finance function and accounting function was that we didn't want to be responsible for continuing to hire, train, and manage. And I would say that in that function, there seems to be churn no matter where you go. There was churn in the function when we had it inside, and there was churn in the function with ADC. However, the structure that ADC has for training their team and onboarding, if for whatever reason, one accounting specialist on our particular account needs to transition off in order to be replaced by another, or a third or a fourth, it's really pretty seamless. And so we didn't have to sustain that pain, and nor did we have to sustain a lot of gappiness or bumpiness in the transition from one team member to another with an ADC. And that really, I think, is the proof of the pudding from the value proposition or model of outsourced accounting. It is in their partnership, their responsibility, and they take it very seriously to create a team, a structure, and a framework that is sustainable, repeatable, and scalable with our business. I think our expectations have been not just met, but exceeded. They listen. They've been flexible within reason. They're a business, as we are a business. And so I do believe that they really strike or make an effort to create a win-win. And for us, that's what's critical. And if they are marginally more expensive than competitors, there is very much the adage, you get what you pay for. And we're a firm believer that we bring the best value to our clients. And I think ADC operates very much the same way. And value is an equation, right? It's services delivered and quality and time divided by cost, or you can invert that. And that's the value proposition that I think ADC does an incredibly good job at. The ADC team has been incredibly good in bringing reporting that they think might be valuable to us to the table and say, hey, would this be valuable? Is this important? Would you like to see this on a recurring basis? And if so, what sort of phase gate or time frequency or cadence or pulse is going to be valuable for you? But they also haven't jammed reports down our throat where there was a bunch of busy work and we didn't really need it or want it, but it was just, this is the way we do it. You have to use ours. This is the way it goes. I actually had put together, just because I probably like spreadsheets more than I should, sort of a dashboard that worked for me. And there were key metrics that were really important. They actually embraced the dashboard that we had created. And it was just, I was very thankful for their willingness to take the framework I had presented and pour the data in there, just so that I didn't have to learn or relearn or go hunt and peck for the data and information that was very important for me. And that's on a weekly cadence. And that's really important for me. So it's a hybrid of the best practices and reporting and insights that they bring, along with some of the tried and true tools and reporting that we thought were critical. And they fuse them together in a seamless, lovely way.